Welcome back, YouTube. Very fun one for me today. Absolutely pumped. I'm at Harley Davidson Oxford. Again, part of Blade Motorcycles group. Another demonstration of things that they've got. They've got all sorts of bikes. And today, I am seriously excited to be riding this Harley Davidson Street Bob with the 114 engine. That is a over 1.8 litre engine in a motorcycle. Okay, for you Harley guys, you're probably used to that. That's probably pretty normal. I own a Triumph Speedmaster. It's just over there, my baby. I love her. She's 1200cc. This is over 1,800. I'm gonna keep saying that today. But look at it. Oh yes, I like her. I've ridden a couple of other Harleys. I've ridden the Sport Glide before, and I've ridden the new Sportster actually with the different style engine. But this has always been my love. I love the mini sort of 8 bars rising up, and the classic real American style look of this. This is a real American looking motorbike in my eyes, and this is my first time ever riding it, so it's going to be really interesting to compare it to my Triumph Speedmaster. This is obviously a fair bit more powerful motorcycle, much bigger engine, and obviously it's a Harley Davidson, so it's a different style, different kettle of fish. Just to point out, which I'm a little bit excited about, it has the Vance And Hines short shots, I believe they're called. So let's start her up. Oh my god. Oh, this is fun. That sounds insane. That is other level compared to my Speedmaster. Right, let's pop her in the first cog. Oh my god, that's loud. So I love these high up hand. This is quite an experience for me. I've been looking, whenever I see one of these, I just stare at it. And I'm going to be completely honest, Harley Davidson Oxford literally at the last moment just offered me to ride this, and I just could not turn it down. I've literally just hopped off a Ducati Multistrada V4S, which is a hell of a machine. Beautiful ride. So this is a very different style of motorcycle. I could not turn down riding it. They had the demo there available, so here we are. And holy Nelly, am I looking forward to it. God, it sounds redonkulous. I'm sort of, it's scaring me a bit. Initial impressions of this bike. It is loud. Comparing it to my Speedmaster, so everything is heavy on Harleys. I know that already, really. It really is. The clutch is actually not too bad on this Street Bob, but it is a lot heavier than on the Triumph Speedmaster. And so's the brake, the front brake, and the levers are big as well. They're big, metal, heavy, thick levers. Riding position, very interesting. Now I know this is the Street Bob, it's not a laid back cruiser. Surprisingly, my knees are like way up in the air. That it's much more, God, it's going to take a while to get used to. It's much more tucked up than even on my Speedmaster. Oh my god. Very cool. But yeah, my knees are like, they really are like mid-pegs, so to speak. Very much, feet are sort of almost under you. I'm surprised. So the front wheel feels like it is stuck out there a bit. Wow. Jesus. This is a hell of an experience. So what are we saying? We got the 114 Milwaukee 8 engine. That is 155 Newton meters of torque, and I believe it's around sort of 95 brake horsepower, but horsepower is really not the figure when you're talking about these Harleys. It is that torque, and 155. Yeah, it's like a tractor. It really is like a tractor. Sounds like one as well. Having just come off the Multistrada V4S, it's nowhere near as quick as that, I can tell that already, but it is just meaty, that motor and those exhausts. Good God. And actually, I'm surprised. I know this feels sharper handling than the Sport Glide. I will say the throttle response is quite sharp. Just the initial bite, maybe slightly too much for me. Like when you come on the throttle, it's quite immediate, where for a cruiser I would want that possibly a little bit slower. It might just take some getting used to. It's quite overwhelming when you turn those exhausts on. I've just had the full Akrapovic £8,000 system on the Ducati Multistrada, but that is just pales in comparison to this exhaust. This is a proper exhaust. God, I feel like you're going to start a fight or something. That's what, in a good way, if that's possible. Of course, I never would, but it makes you feel aggressive. This bike, I feel like, come on then, especially with that exhaust. God, yo, that was overwhelming. Just jumped straight into it there. Hell of an experience, and will wake you up in the morning. There's a bit of a road up here, nice road with some twisties on. Just gonna get a feel for how she is. You see I've got rid of my ugly looking sat nav bag here. It's a digital display, really small, but actually just switch it on, it's really smart and quite sort of technical really. It's got everything you need, but it's really bare bones minimum, which is really cool about the Harley. I love the paintwork. Anyway, we'll go over that in a bit. Let's listen to it start up again. It's like an angry bear. Pop 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 pop. It really is that potato pop 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 Harley noise. I've never had that before. Is it as nice as the Triumph Speedmaster sound? It's a lot louder, considerably, but it's quite full on. It might be a little bit too much. So it's quite planted. Suspension, as I was saying, is on the firm side for sure. But actually, handling wise, it's not bad, you know. When you roll on, you're sort of flowing with the road. You're so low down and hands are out high and forward. You're sort of just cornering with the road. I don't know how to explain it. The motor, that 114, it's got some serious pull on it. It's not freakishly quick. If you're used to sports bikes or quick adventure bikes, you won't find this quick, to be honest. I know it sounds crazy, 1.8 litre, and everyone's like it's crazy fast. It's not mental, but it's got some torque. That for sure, you can feel the torque, and it's plenty fast enough. I mean, you could go straight up to 80 miles an hour if you so wished, really easily. Well, yeah, the torque it almost throws you back a bit. Right, so what are the vibes like? It's weird. It's tricky to tell because that exhaust is so loud. You automatically assume, well, I do, that it's really vibey, the bike, but it's not that vibey at all. It's just deep vibes, if there are any, but they're really not intrusive at all. I suppose that's the new Milwaukee 8 engines that Harley are putting out. Well, they're not that new now. They're just big, long throbs rather than vibes. Like, you're not getting ridiculous characterful vibes from it. I'm most certainly warming to this motorcycle very quickly. Let's go stop somewhere and we shall have a heart-to-heart chitter-chat about general motorcycling and life. Let's do that. That's what the Harley's bringing out in me, that type of vibe. Wow, all I can say as a raw experience, that is a big experience. Sorry about the road in the background. I just pulled over this nice spot with the sun out, couldn't help it. I mean, I guess that's what Harley's about. It's sort of blown my mind, really. It's ridiculous. So, in a good way. The short shots Vance and Hines exhausts are incredibly loud. Loudest thing I've ever ridden by far. It's brilliant. So it's 155 Newton meters of torque from the 114 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine with 95 brake horsepower. But the major figure is you get that 155 Newton meters down at 3,250 RPM. Yeah, it's well known with Harleys and cruisers, it's all about the torque. So you really can just roll onto the throttle and just cruise. The different thing about this compared to my Speedmaster, Triumph Speedmaster, sorry about the cars, is my Speedmaster is really relaxing to ride, nowhere near as loud. The clutch is lighter, the gears are lighter to change. Everything's just easier to operate, and you can just potter around the country on the Speedmaster feeling like you're not really doing any harm, you're not really bothering anyone. Now this isn't a bad thing, it's just a difference. This, you feel like you're terrorising the countryside. Not in a bad way, I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it takes some time to get used to. But yeah, you're just ripping it up. You're like, I'm here, I've arrived. Especially with those exhausts on, it's a different vibe. I personally prefer the more relaxed vibe. We're going to go for a ride again in a bit and just chill out and just try and calm down a bit from the overall visceral experience of that exhaust and just sort of cruise. Let's go over a few of the technical specs. So suspension wise guys, they're 49mm telescopic front forks. So the suspension guys, rear suspension, it may look like a hardtail but it's not. Somewhere in there is hidden coilover monoshock 43mm stroke on it. So the brakes up front guys, surprised they're Harley Davidson brakes. It's a 4-piston caliper up front. With a single disc. They're not mega sharp, but actually from just riding there, they're just a little dab on the brakes, and that sort of seems to be all you need. It brings you to a stop pretty nicely. Yeah, I don't think you need 2 discs up front. So if we just get down in here to the rear brake, so as per usual it's a single disc with a 2-piston floating rear caliper. Again, they look like Harley Davidson branded brakes as well. So seat height guys, as I'm sure you've guessed by the looks of the dimensions of the motorcycle, it's 680mm seat height. Very low, lower than my Speedmaster. I'm 5'9", as you can see. I'm almost not quite, but nearly a 90-degree angle on my legs, and I'm obviously flat-footing it. So yeah, it's real low. You're sitting really low, and I personally really like this style. It's just personal preference, but with the handlebars higher up as well, you've got that classic Harley sort of cruise. Personally, I would prefer my feet further forward. You've got a 90-degree angle with your feet to the pegs here. Okay, I don't suppose there's any other way around this. Wet weight is 297 kilograms. That's quite heavy, very heavy. I suppose I'm not used to Harley Davidson weights. This is actually one of the lighter Harley Davidsons. Obviously you step up into the big cruisers and touring Harleys, they'll be a lot heavier, I should imagine. Weight-wise, it's so low down. When you're riding it, you don't feel it too much. Manoeuvring around is not a problem, it's all so low down. So I don't think the weight, like, you're not buying this to be high performance machine. And it handles absolutely fine enough, so I don't think the weight is a problem, albeit that is a big number. Okay, so here comes the fun bit. Let's obligatory sound test. I hope it doesn't blow the speakers on my camera. It is, yeah, very, very loud, as I'm sure you've gathered already. So guys, apologies if I seem a bit unprepared or flustered. Yeah, hell of an experience this bike. The vibe about it is of course Harley Davidson. Everything's heavy and big, which is pretty cool. It's a hell of an experience. And if you didn't know, I actually started my YouTube channel for mental health and motorbiking and the benefits that motorbiking can bring to your mental health and does for your mental health. I'd suffered for a while. Motorbiking really helped me. And the main thing that I find it does help out me is the involvement and the visceral experience motorbiking gives you, being out in nature, the wind, the smells, the bike's engine, you know, and also the mindfulness side of motorbiking, the concentration levels it takes to stay safe on the motorbike and to enjoy the ride as well. I find it really therapeutic for you, and that's partly why I love my Triumph Speedmaster so much. But I think Harley Davidson, they are definitely about that as a company and a brand. They're about the feeling of motorcycling, you know, the passion, just the love for it. It doesn't all have to be the highest technical spec or the best performing motorbike. It's just about the raw experience. That's the experience I've had on this bike, for sure. It's a hell of an experience. If you suffer from mental health, or if you have in the past, or if you want to get out of your head a bit, you just want a raw experience from motorbiking, you probably hear it in my voice going over these bumps. That's not me about to break into tears. It's the bumps. The suspension's quite hard on this, but it doesn't get much more involving than this. Great for freedom. It's a freedom machine, isn't it? Just to clear the cobwebs away and make you feel better. So, would I have one? Conclusions. In all honesty, I'm going to say I don't think I would have this Street Bob. Not that it's a bad bike, just for my personal preferences. I like to go touring a lot, and I ride long distances quite a lot. There would be better Harley Davidsons for that purpose. If I had the money, I would 100% have this bike for weekend blasts or sort of, you know, evening cruises. But I would put my money elsewhere in the Harley range, because I would want more of a touring aspect for the bike, you know. It's very different to obviously the Speedmaster and other bikes. It's a very intense experience, this. I never thought I would ever say this. Maybe I'd get a quieter exhaust, maybe, but maybe not. May just need to get used to it. But that over a long time, that exhaust could get a little bit tiresome. But yeah, I mean, what a machine. I mean, what do you think it looks like? I think just the looks of this, and all Harleys, but especially the Street Bobs. And I actually love the new Lowrider ST. I think that looks incredible. It just looks absolutely stunning. It's like the epitome of a motorcycle, an American motorcycle. It's so cool looking with those high up handlebars, nice paint job. They just look absolutely awesome, I'll say. And you feel super cool riding it. I actually want to get one of these for longer, because it's that intense. You need to take time to get used to it. But I think on a sunny day, and to have the day on one of these on some nice roads, yeah, will be a hell of a day. I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. And on that note, I'd like to give a shout out to mental health awareness. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Enjoy your summers, and yeah, ride safe. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, stay happy. This has been RedAng Revival. Ciao Bella.